on TSN 1050.
All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app. Your home smart speaker up on TSN 4. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan.
What's going on?
What's
Noodles,
going
good
on?
afternoon, and I'd like you to be introduced to my son, Brian.
Great to see you. Great to see
Son?
you,
I
Pops.
saw that. Like, what? Who would
Dude,
mistake
I was so
that?
horrified. Like, it just so crazy when she said, I haven't seen your son in a long time. And I'm like,
Your son.
yeah, I was like, Hayes doesn't come in here that often. And then somebody, look at my face is so horrendous.
That's the
in that.
wrong picture to use, too.
I know. It's
Like,
just-
that's uncalled for.
But the worst thing would be if she was talking about, like, and she was dead serious, too. She wasn't screwing around. But can you imagine if she was talking about, like, Duthie? Duthie's, like, 7 years older than me.
Right. If it went the opposite
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you just look. I don't think if he was looking old. I don't think you're in. Like,
No,
you know,
he looks great. There's only one time in the history of this show where he has looked old, and it was when you two were at the hockey
Yeah,
game
the long
in
hair
box.
pick.
Yeah, the alumni box.
The
Alf.
alumni box photo
Alf
looks
from
like
Malmac.
a father at that. You look like Alf. Yeah,
Alf from
Malmac.
Malmac.
Yeah, that's the one time when you look like
That's
an aging
that's
elf.
that's a father and son.
A
picture.
70-year-old Alf from Malmac.
Yeah, elf.
But the thing is, if she was like, can you remember like any 17-year-old like guys or like I don't know what the hell she was talking
maybe
about.
she was talking
She
about
must think
Doogie.
you're my son.
Could it be Doogie? Like, is it possible it's Doogie? Like, Doogie could possibly fit that role, but
Doogie
Doogie's
could
not on
be-
any
He
posters
could be my
anywhere.
son. He's
Could
like
be
I'm,
mine. He
I'm
could be
54
all-
years old. Doogie's like 22. He could
That's
be my
right.
son. Like,
Doogie, if you're there, have you ever even been in the calf? Like, tell us. You've got to let us know.
But he's not
because
on the poster, though. Like, they wouldn't know
That's
who
right.
Doogie
Because I
is.
looked at the poster, Jamie, and I go, is it this guy right here? And I pointed to Hayes' face, and she goes, yeah, your son. And I just said, that's it, man. That's
I
it.
love it.
Alf from Malmac is out.
Alf is out. And I take that as a shot, too, because I know I've got somewhat of a younger-looking face, a baby face, but not that extreme.
No kidding.
You know, it's not like I look like I'm 17.
Yeah.
No.
And by the way, what did she think? Like, bring your son to work day 34 to 50 times a year? Like,
Every day.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's bring your
Well,
kid to work day.
she might have thought, isn't there a show in the States that's quite famous, and there's like an old guy that's in the middle? I can't remember.
Well,
You remember that
Lebitard
one?
did that forever. Lebitard used to do that. He used to bring his dad in with him.
Yeah,
Dan
that's who it
Lebitard.
was. It was his dad with Mina Kimes.
Yeah, well, they had their show and the Dan Lebitard show with Stu Gatz, and they used to do a TV show too. I don't remember what it was called.
Did the dad chime in, or did you
Yes.
just sit
No,
there?
he just sat there for a lot of the time. He would
Mostly
say the
sat
odd
there.
thing.
Mostly, but sometimes he would chime in with little comments here and
Right.
there, and like he had a heavy, thick, like Spanish accent, and
Right, like
he would
I
hold
remember-
a play card up every once in a while.
I remember us being in studio and me pointing and going, "Who is that?" And you like laid it out for me exactly that. You're like, "That's that guy's dad."
And guess who is that guy on our show? It's O. O's Poppy from the Dan Lebitard show. That's your new nickname, Poppy. You and Austin Matthews. Poppy
Big
O'Neill.
Poppy.
Big Poppy.
Poppy. Duh.
Oh,
Overdrive's
dog
over.
loses.
The O-Dog loses. The O-Dog is gone. Now it's Poppy.
Poppy.
Yeah, so we established that yesterday, and that's great. And now I got to go in there and try to get to the bottom of that, which I will do.
Yeah.
I might play on with it, too. But like, have you seen my dad around here? I'm looking for him. He said he
You
was
should.
coming in.
You got to
Like
go
he
up.
ordered
You got to go up and order a sandwich, and
Yeah.
just say, "I can't find my dad. That old bastard is wandering around here somewhere. Is he stuck underneath a fridge or an oven or something?"
Yes. I'll set the alarms off. I'll head into the Niner Diner and say, I'm looking for him. Have you seen him? That's him right there on the poster.
Yeah, the guy in the blue and white jacket. He's lost.
That's him right in the middle. And there's Uncle Noodles. Like how do you factor into this? I'm not sure.
Who knows? Like
you're the
that's
uncle.
The thing. Everyone's so friendly there. It's just they probably just misconstrued. But like you're right. Like maybe is it a father and son show with the uncle?
Possibly.
Like, that's what it is.
I don't know. We'll figure that out. I guess we got to find that out. What is Noodles' role? Is he the neighbor? Yeah. Maybe you're the wild and wacky neighbor.
I'm Kramer.
Yeah, you're Kramer. Exactly. Well, speaking of Poppy, we'll get into the Blue Jays today. We're going to talk a lot of Jays throughout the week and throughout the World Series, clearly. Shawn Green coming up later in the hour, which is great. Former Jay and former Dodger. Knows both markets really well and tracking both teams. We'll catch up with Shawn. But I can't imagine it going much worse for the Leafs after the big Stolarz, call-out moment. Like, your goalie comes out, lays it on the line, basically challenges everyone from top to bottom, and you go out there and play like that and lose like that. But I guess the message, did it just not get through? What do we make of how the Leafs responded last night?
Remember what I said, though? I was concerned that it shined a light on him. And that's like, I don't know how you agreed. Like, I just didn't like that. I respected the fire. I respected the honesty that he felt. But I said, all it does is shine a light on your play. If and you even said, if he lets in a muff and Willie's going to be looking from the bench going, we need a save here. He didn't play very well last night.
He wasn't great. I don't think he was the reason they lost. But Stolarz wasn't great. Now, the post-game comments, why don't we play these? Because these are way more concerning than the ones from the other night. Like,
way more.
Exponentially more concerning. Here is how Anthony Stolarz analyzed his team's game last night.
I thought it was a really good effort by the boys tonight. They're a skilled team. And for me personally, that fourth goal, it's when you want back. You want to be able to go into the third period, give the guys a fighting chance, and be able to keep it a one-goal game. And at that point, anything can happen. So I love the effort tonight. Guys were battling. You look at the back check. The block shots, getting in lanes. I thought we did a lot of good things tonight.
I don't know what he's referring to because I had to sit on the panel for that game. Like, that third goal was a terrible goal, a turnover by the top line. They all changed, and then Jack Hughes got sprung loose. I just don't know what he's talking about. I walked away from that game saying, it's a bad game when it feels really long. You're just like, oh my God, and then you're looking down. Like, how is this like good lanes and like doing a lot of good things? That's your top line coughing it up. And then Jack Hughes just wheels down.
Yeah. I refuse to believe that that's an honest assessment.
Well,
it scares me.
It's not, though, Brian. What it is, it's overcompensating for his Saturday's comments.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it was. And that concerns me more. And this was my fear, because I loved the fact that he was honest and human and raw, because we haven't seen it in 10 years. And now he's got to fit back in. This is the PR machine wheeling around. Now you got to go out there and say, love the effort, loved what we saw tonight. They were terrible last night. There's no sugarcoating it. The Leafs were awful last night. They were awful, and there was not really any positives that came out of the game. I can't find many. I mean, I'd leave it to you guys if you can. But that screamed, yes, an overcompensation. That's probably a softer way of putting it, Noodles. Yeah. But that says to me, there were feelings hurt. There were people that got on him. There was a mea culpa from him being like, won't happen again. And now this is what we're going to get. And now what you got is a scenario with Stolarz. Wall's not coming back. Who knows when he's coming back? Like, they're not even going to answer on him anymore. Who knows what he's dealing with? Where he's not around and he's not playing anytime soon. So everything's going to be on his plate. Outside of back-to-back, Stolarz is playing. Right. And now if he's dealing with this, or he says what he says, and now he's got to swing the other way, and he's got to think about that, and he's overthinking plays and how he plays and the goals he gives up. That's got the potential to be really messy.
It does.
And really messy. And I just, right when I heard that, I cringed. Like, that's not, there's no way that's honest, man. Like, there's no way.
That would have been a situation, as much as I talked about him coming out and talking like that, Hayes, what I didn't like about it is, Because when you do that, you make yourself – it makes it seem like you're the only guy that cares, and you just seem like a hero. But I almost would have had more appreciation for him doubling down, saying, man, that was just not the response that I was thinking of.
Yes, same.
Including
or
myself,
someone else.
if he said that.
Right, of course.
Like,
hey,
just,
me first.
Even Duthie, I think he teed me up with a question talking about like building off the excitement of the Jays and having a response to the last game. And they had nothing from the drop of the puck, I thought. Like, it was just they talked about New Jersey having the speed and the skill and having the puck all night, and I was like, that's exactly right. That's what happened. They got skated out of the rink by a skilled New Jersey team, and there was not a lot of pushback. Top line, it is a revolving door on the right side, which is turning into a circus, and you know the coach is starting to hate it because he's like, I'm kind of getting sick of trying somebody out there. He said it himself. He's like, I'm getting sick of putting people there on that right side.
You mentioned comments, Brian. Like, Chief didn't pull any punches either. Like, he was shooting straight, saying, tired. What did he? I think his comment was like, I'm getting tired of this.
Well, we can play it. We have it.
Yeah.
Here's Craig Berube on the effectiveness of the top line, the play of the top line, and the revolving door on the right side.
Right.
I think early on in the season, I thought, they were getting their opportunities and looking pretty good. Now it's like, it's obviously not good enough. I don't feel like they have any sustained pressure in the offensive zone at all. It's one and done or out, or, they don't have any sustained pressure in the offensive zone. That's what I see.
I'm sorry. You said at the start of the year that might be a long process of experimentation.
Well, it could be, but I'm getting tired of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's not in a good place, man. Like, again, they're 3-3-1. They have a long history of having a slow start in October. Like, that's
and that comment can go two different ways, guys. I'm tired of trying to find the right fit, or it could mean I shouldn't have to be worrying about who is on the right side with the best player on our team. So it's one of the two things.
It's the latter one, in my opinion. I don't care if Al's brother is playing right wing with Austin Matthews. You can't. It can't always be, well, the right winger's not good enough. The right winger doesn't get it done. Matthews has got to be better. I mean, let's just call it what it is. He's got to be better. If it's one and done, it's not the right winger that runs a cycle. What, the right winger's the first guy in on the forecheck every single time?
Yeah.
Right winger's the guy with the puck on a stick every single time? Austin Matthews and Matthew Nyes. Nyes got his deal. He's a big boy now too, right? He's a big part of this team. But Matthews, we talked a lot about it leading into the season. How does he take on this challenge? A lot of people are starting to doubt him. A lot of people are wondering if he's on the other side, of the prime, of being the true number one goal scorer in the league. And I refuted that. All three of us did. I pushed back on it greatly. And again, it's only 7 games, but I thought this guy would come out like a rocket this year, to prove he doesn't need Marner, to prove he's healthy, to prove last year was just a write-off season, happens to the best of us. And by the end of the campaign, very possible that still happens. I would still say I believe that will happen. But I have not been impressed with the start. I don't see how anybody could be.
Chief said early on, the first few games, they looked really good. I don't even agree with that. Like, I don't agree with it. There was a segment, even a short segment, where it was like, wow, they're all dialed in and they're getting tons of opportunities. It's been one and done. And I've never seen him and his line mates spend so much time in their own zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, they're in their own zone and just caved in there all the time. And I've never seen that before. All the time.
I know we don't like talking about him anymore or whatever, but, like, the Marner effect is real. And there has to be a new normal.
It can't be to this extent, though, Noodles.
I'm not saying to this extent, but I'm saying, keep in mind, not only skill-wise, Mitch is really good defensively. Mm-hmm. So, he makes a pass. He controls the play in the neutral zone. He was a guy, you talk about sustained pressure. He was a guy who kept plays alive, too, by holding onto the puck, by doing. Now, again, you're not replacing him, and I'm not saying. But what we talked about, and this is why I brought it up, Brian, as you said, Austin needs to prove that he can play without Mitch. There's an adjustment period, and he doesn't look like he's adjusted. It looks like you're, and that's where my point is. It's because Mitch, you kind of had a little bit of a slow start in Vegas, but this Jack Eichel, when he's been playing with him, this guy's been the best guy in the league.
Well, and he's been playing with Hurdle. That's the thing.
Right,
he's even further down the lineup.
Exactly. Like, you look at it, I'm not blaming it on Mitch. What I'm saying is Austin, I'm coming back to your point. Austin needs to find the way what makes him successful. That's shooting the puck. That's being an offensive force. That's holding onto the puck, using his strength. And I think, having Mitch all these years, Mitch was a guy who could put Austin in situations where he would get a look or could do that, where the cycle didn't die because Mitch was really good at picking pucks off, that type of stuff. They don't have that, or they haven't had that, and it's been an adjustment. Not saying that they can't adjust, not saying 10 games from now this doesn't look and feel different, but right now, the first, 7 games in? It's looked and felt different. That team looks and feels different on a lot of different levels. And Austin is the guy who is a top-tier player who has to drag them out of it. It's on him.
It feels like, and I've described this to a couple different people at work, it's like Mitch Marner is an unbelievable player, one of the best players in the league, but it feels like 3 Mitch Marners have left. Like,
you said that.
It really does.
Agreed.
It feels like 3 of them have left. Excuse me. And it feels like there's no – like, we can break down all the different parts of their game, like defensemen getting slow back to the puck, special teams, top line. But there is simply not enough people playing well enough. Like,
that's fair.
There's been spurts of William Nylander. Morgan Riley had his 2 days in the sun, and it was like, everyone look at Morgan Riley. And then after that, everything has settled down, and everyone is just out there. And it seems like, and this is what happens when teams are struggling, everyone is just like in slow motion, going through the motions where it's like, who is playing extremely well right now, other than some spotty spots of William Nylander dashes that create plays like last night? Like, no one is playing consistently well right now. Agreed. And that's why you got what you got, and the way we're talking the way we're talking.
Yeah, exactly. And
like, who's different? Who's a difference? Talk about difference makers. Who is it right now?
It's
Willie.
Anybody.
Willie's the most dynamic player right now on the team, clearly.
By a lot.
Clearly,
yeah. He's making dynamic plays. And beyond that, I can't give you an answer. I mean, Matthews has had spurts, and Matthews is always going to be good defensively and good on the draw, and he's killing penalties. Like, he's going to bring different elements, but he's got to be the man. I mean, he's got to be. And, you look at Draisaitl last year. That guy was playing with fourth liners at times on his wing. Literally fourth liners, third and fourth liners. And he said, throw anybody at me and come along for the ride. Yeah. And Sid,
he made them better players. He made them better players.
Absolutely. And that's what has to happen. That's just a reality. Marner's not rolling back into that room, and they're not acquiring anyone that's going to be even close.
No.
Not
won
happening. They don't have the
MVPs
assets.
with Chris Kunitz and Pascal Dupuis.
Yes.
Well, and that's kind of what I brought up. It wasn't, hey, they missed Mitch and that's it and it's all over. It's more about the Mitch effect on Austin and Austin stepping up and finding a different way to lead and to get his looks and do all of these things that makes him the best goal scorer in the league. And it is an adjustment, but he's not there. And he hasn't. Chief's not wrong. One and done. These are one and done plays. The other thing, too, last year they were extremely healthy on the back end. Like, I don't know how long this Tanev injury, but they look different without Tanev, I'll tell you that.
They will, for sure. But that's another thing about the start. Again, 3-3-1. It's not the end of the world. They've done this before in October. But they've had a very soft schedule and a home-laden schedule. They're at home. Yes. They don't travel. They haven't been on the road. They just play home games. Yeah. And it's been a soft schedule. They brought back the same goalies. I guess Wall notwithstanding right now, clearly. But Stolarz has been here and healthy. The exact same 6 defensemen came back. They didn't make one change. And, yes, Marner's gone and a few new players are here, but for the most part, it's the same team that walked off the ice against Florida in May. And the idea that that's how you finished last season. Now you've had some turnover, and it's substantial turnover, and all eyes are on you. What do you have? And this is the start. It's got to be disappointing for everyone, within the organization. And what they have here is there's a difference between being a veteran team and being an old team. And they're playing like an old team as opposed to a veteran team. And there's a difference between being big and playing heavy. Right. They're big because it says so on the score sheet. It says so on their profile that they're tall and weigh a lot. But they're not playing heavy. But that's what they're trying to get to. And that will take some time. And if it gets there, I think it can be very advantageous for them. I think it can work. I think especially come playoff time, that's where it can help. If you're a big, veteran, crafty team that leans on teams and, is in the fight and plays well systematically and goes to the dirty and tough areas, if that team's in there, and it very well could be, then this can all work in the end.
Yeah,
you just got to get there.
Brian. And I always reference the LA Kings. They had a system and a style that was very advantageous to them come playoff time. But they never, they had to grind a couple years just to, get in.
Right.
It wasn't an easy thing for them because Darryl Sutter made them play a certain way and nothing was easy. They were not allowed to float. They were not allowed to cheat for offense. And they've got to find a balance, the Leafs, to get in.
I think I think their first cup they came in 8th place,
they did. They backdoored into the playoffs.
Yeah, and then they
lost 2 games.
Yeah, went on a massive heater. But listen, it's early. There's a lot of teams in the same bucket.
Yep.
But
within
we talk
division,
about you're right, but we talk about this team. That's the thing. Florida found a way to dig out. I look at it. Montreal's in Calgary tonight. Montreal's lost to the Rangers the other night, but they're a really good team. You look around. You got an opportunity here on Friday and Saturday against Buffalo. That's not going to be a cakewalk. You might think it might be a cakewalk, but Buffalo always plays them pretty tough.
It's for me. It's like the worst time to play home and home with them. Because
no kidding, the ghosts of 15 years ago seem to be swirling around.
Exactly. It's exactly that.
Caber,
ass-face shooting it in the empty net. That's all I see when I go to sleep.
When was that? The Caber we were sitting there in Buffalo, and Caber, we went over that replay with it.
Right there in Buffalo. I believe Salute Gate was against the Sabres too. Don't quote me on that. But the thing is about the Sabres is if you beat them, you're supposed to. You're supposed to. No one's going to give you credit for beating the Sabres. If you lose to them, then it
gets noisy again, right?
People, the Jays can only give you so much shelter, and they will.
I think anything in the Atlantic is a coin flip right now. Any matchup in the Atlantic is a coin flip. I don't think you could say anybody is supposed to beat anybody if there's an Atlantic Division matchup.
Yeah, you're right.
Johnny and Duthie were talking about how, it should be spaced out with better teams. I think it's just a free-for-all right now.
I think you've got 8 teams. 8 teams that all – is there a team – I guess Detroit and Montreal are happy with their start. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is not happy.
No.
And grinding and going, okay, long season, let's see, got to get points every night, all of that type of stuff. There's all the cliches coming out of six organizations, and 2 of them are like, hey, we're happy with our start. And keep in mind – it was, a week and a half ago on this show, we're talking about Todd McClellan melting down after Game 1.
That's right.
They haven't lost since.
You're right.
What about our Canadian coach mood meter? How many coaches would be happy in the Canadian coach mood meter right now?
Winnipeg.
Arneal would be, and Marty St. Louis.
Yeah.
And nobody else.
No, I don't think anybody else would be up there saying this guy's really happy right now on top of the mood meter.
Nobody.
Where about in Vancouver?
For
Vancouver's
the
what, 4-3? They might be a little bit. He might be in the middle.
They're okay. Yeah, Vancouver. Adam Foote's he's probably okay.
Yeah,
it's probably okay. Calgary's a mess right now. Edmonton, obviously, they got one last night. Yeah. But they haven't been happy. The Leafs aren't happy. Clearly, Ottawa. Travis Green has got to be snapping right now with the injury to Tkachuk, and they lost again last night. It's early, but it can get ornery quick, right? You get a little bit disjointed and feel a little bit uncomfortable.
I did that game last night, guys, and I chuckled because I said I thought it was going to be an OT game and a tight game, and it really was because both teams needed a win, right? So I thought to myself, if Knobloch and Green met at center ice at noon yesterday, it was a handshake going. We'll have a tie, get to overtime, we'll both take a point, and then coin flip in overtime. Mm-hmm. And that's really what happened. Both organizations are like, we need something. And Edmonton looked like they had some life, and so did Ottawa. It was actually it was a methodical game, but it was a pretty good game. Both teams really worked hard. But, man, oh, man, like that 97-29, boy, when they wanted to turn it on, they were turning it on.
Well,
I love Nick Jesus, but how he didn't get a penalty on that one play
on Ridley Gregg. I thought it was a trip. If you play it, I don't know if we have the replay. He reaches around and taps. I I should have pointed it out on the broadcast, but it was already past. I saw a better view of it. When he reaches around, watch, he reaches and he taps his left leg and then reaches around to the right side. He actually spun him off balance. And that's where I think the ref was like, okay, he's messing with him, but he didn't trip him. But he did. In essence, he did trip him because he pushes on his left leg while he's striding and then goes around the right side and pokes him. And it was I thought it was a penalty.
Crafty.
It
and
was
I
a
guess
cagey
you got away with
play.
it, so you don't have to explain anything.
And that Howard, that was his first goal.
Yep.
So, anyways, it was coming back to the original point. In the Atlantic, 6 teams are not happy.
Yeah. Boston's, they've thrown away a good start, some goodwill.
Oh, yeah, their start is like –
that's over. Yeah, you're right. And that I guess you can take solace in that if you're Berube and company. 3-1, not great. Yeah. Should be better with the start. You had an opportunity to have a great start, but it's not horrendous. You're right there. And
we do this every year, guys.
Every year they do in October.
Every year. What are they doing out there? Are these guys going to be any good?
Yep.
And Hayes says that every year they're going to end up with 100 points. So what we're seeing right now is somewhat concerning. It's just not good enough. Like we said, not enough players are playing good enough. But in the past, regardless of the personnel, they've got it together. So we'll see.
Yep, they have, and it's on them to push the right buttons and get going here for sure, because the rest of the division's allowing you to do that. Whoever can get hot for like 15, 20 games, you might be able to cruise to the finish line. Game 1 of the World Series Friday night. Shawn Green will join us, help us tee that up. We've obviously got the Raptors starting their season up tonight down in Atlanta. We'll tee that up later this afternoon. Role play level of concern coming up. MJ calling a game last night. MJ out there doing some skates with Austin Matthews as well. I like that Johnny went no helmet. I like that. I thought he'd wear a hat or something.
You can't wear a helmet with a visor for that taping.
Maybe not a visor.
Put a helmet on. Yeah.
Throw a helmet on. You're a professional.
When you go out and coach your kids, do you have to wear the bucket?
Yeah, of course. Hockey Canada, man. You have to. You have to. No cage, though. No visor, no cage. Sometimes, no chin strap. Sometimes. Oh. Just to make sure everyone knows you're out there wheeling
You're
and
an adult
dealing.
out there.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a true talent out there that's really making things happen. All right, OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Friday on TSN 1050. Hear the Toronto Raptors home opener versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
Jams it down. Take that with you.
Coverage starts at 6 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The Raptors live here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
OverDrive continues, brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. We're moving slowly but surely towards Game 1 of the World Series Friday night. And, man, the World Series knocking the Leafs down on hockey night. Not even playing at 7 o'clock on Saturday. That surprised me.
Wow.
I have to be honest. Man, they go to Vancouver and they play at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Like, this is one more thing people in Vancouver say, let me get this straight. You're willing to move the game for a different sport for a team in Toronto, but not a team in Vancouver.
What
Leafs
if the
roll
Leafs
through
haven't
town,
lost
can't
yet?
do it.
Would it still be the same thing?
If what? Sorry?
The Leafs haven't lost yet.
Yes. I think this is
It's the
likely.
World Series. These are games 8 to 9.
I know.
It's a World Series, and it's what, once in
Still crazy stuff.
It
Still
doesn't happen
crazy
much.
it's close
stuff.
to once in your lifetime, but it's not. They were in this World Series in what,
92, 93, yes.
Yeah, so it's not in
Third time, man.
third time
Third
in your
time.
lifetime. So this doesn't happen, habitually, 6 out of 10 times type of thing. So
It's
yes,
the right
you can
play.
say
100% the right play.
Hazy,
Downtown's going to be crazy.
Are the Dodgers heavy favorites? I would predict that.
They're a
would be the
favorite. I wouldn't say they're a heavy favorite. I'd have to look up what the line is on FanDuel for them to win the series. My guess would be they're minus 200, something like that. Doogie, let us know. I'm curious what that line is. But you'd be getting plus money on the Jays, for sure. But the Jays love playing at home. They love playing at home, man. They love that Rogers Center. And they do have home field advantage starting on Friday night. And here's a guy that knows both teams well, knows both cities well, former Blue Jay, former Dodger. There's Shawn Green. How you doing, Shawn?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing very well. How do you feel about this? You're an alumni on both sides of the aisle here. How does this one set up for you?
Yeah, I win. I've already won the World Series, so that's good here. No, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to have the two teams. I played for 4 teams, but my 15 seasons that I was up, 10 of them were between these two teams. Or actually, no, 12 of them, because I was up briefly in the World Series year and the year after. So, I think it's one of those things where you get to the World Series and anything can happen. It's who's hot at the right time. The Blue Jays have a pretty scary lineup, and the Dodgers know that. So I think it's going to be pretty even money. I think the Dodgers have a slight edge maybe, but I wouldn't bet against either team right now.
Be honest. We're not going to hold you to anything against you. Who are you cheering for? There's got to be one team where you're like, I want to see these guys win the World Series.
No, I honestly at this point, right when you guys called, I was just hanging up with Carlos Delgado, who's a really good friend of mine, and we're both like, look, we want to be entertained and watch, and I think as the series progresses and you kind of see, the drama unfold, and your heart starts to tug you in one direction or the other. But going into it, I'm pretty neutral, honestly, and there's not too many people that I were in Toronto when I was there. I mean, my last year there was 99, which is obviously like almost 30 years ago. But I do still have some friends there, and I love my time there. And I'm getting former Jays teammates like Alex Gonzalez, Carlos we're texting about it, and it's kind of cool to bring that part of our lives, back into the present.
So if you're with the Jays, how do you approach Ohtani? Is there any type of thought process, any type of pre-scout that we all haven't watched this guy put a clinic on for years?
Yeah, he's obviously a unicorn and does things that no one else does. But I think the thing that's hardest as a hitter is to have even a 3-day break is tough. And so there'll be at least 7 or 8 days off in between series. So I would go at him and see what happens. And so you start off, and in baseball as a pitcher, which I never was, but you kind of go at guys until they prove to you that they can't hit that pitch or whatever it is. So I would say, look, attack him early and see what happens. And if he shows that, his timing's on and he's hot, then I would back off really, really quickly. And I think vice versa. I think the same thing for the Dodgers. You got to go after Vladdy early and see what happens. If you get second and third with 2 outs, it might be a little different conversation, but you got to let them prove to you that they're hot, because both teams have guys around them that could do damage as well.
Well, that's the amazing thing. Like Ohtani's he's going to get the first at bat of the World Series, right? Like he's going to step in, and we don't know who's going to pitch Game 1. It may be Gausman, it may be Savage, but it is somewhat fitting because of the connection. The Jays are obviously, but the idea of him stepping into the box. Let's say it's Trey Savage, like the tone setting. Do you believe in that? It's a long series. Like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But the idea, like you just said, going at Ohtani, like the symbolism of that, if you can challenge him, if you can strike him out, if you can get him out, that first at bat of the series, how big do you think that could be for the Jays?
Yeah, no, it's a series of momentum. I mean, look at the Jays Seattle series. I mean, I think everyone in Toronto was probably this is over after losing 2 at home, right? So it does shift. I think it is nice to come at the opposing team, especially their biggest stars, and set the tone early. And if I'm on the Jays, then that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to say, if we could show you that we can shut your best player down, the best player all around who's ever walked the earth, then that's making quite a statement. So that's why I don't think I would start off being really careful until he shows me that he's on time and hitting the ball hard.
We're chatting with former Blue Jay, former Dodger Shawn Green. How much of a believer, if at all, are you in home field advantage and the fact that the Blue Jays have it?
Yeah, I'm kind of okay. So I think certain teams play really well at home, and the Jays are one of them. And other teams play pretty well on the road. I think in baseball, I kind of like the opposite. I like being to start off as the visiting team, because my attitude is, okay, you go in to the visiting park, you win one of the two games, you figure you should go home and win 2 out of 3. Now you're up 3-2. You say all we got to do is win one of these two games, and you're probably going to get your best pitcher, in Game 7. If everything lines up correctly with the days or whatever. But so that's kind of my attitude on it. And I know Joe Torre has said the same thing in the past. But I think that changes a little bit when you have, such a home cooking type vibe that the Blue Jays have and love playing in your own ballpark. So I would say in this case, it's definitely going to play more to the Blue Jays' favor because they have done so well historically at Rogers Center.
Yeah,
I don't
great
see guys
year.
like the 2-3-2 being. I hate it. Like, I just hate it. The team with the better record, it seems like you're getting screwed, man, with that. I just cannot stand the 2-3-2. Drop that
you
first
like the
game
2-2,
seems like
1-1-1
such a
better?
disadvantage. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It just seems like having those three in the middle, like that's where as long as you don't start off down 2-0 or 0-2 or whatever. Those middle games really set the whole series, right? I mean, that's where everything's at. So if you can win 2 of those 3 middle games, you should win the series.
Well, and we just saw that. Even though it was unconventional, the Jays lost the first 2 at home. They won 2 of 3 in Seattle.
Exactly.
And set up that momentum for them coming home with Shawn Green. So, you mentioned you and Carlos Delgado talking, and Alex, and like, how often who else would you expect to maybe hear from, between now and, I guess, the end of the World Series?
Yeah, I could see hearing from Pat Henkin, Darren Fletcher. We had such a great group of guys, and I was briefly on that '93 team, but I was 20 years old and just got called up. Went 0 for 6, so Joe Carter can get a couple of days off, to stay ready. So I actually helped because he might have gotten hurt and not hit that walk-off, World Series winning home run. So maybe I deserve the ring that I got, but. Yeah, no, it's always you never know who's going to pop up. I was texting with Kevin Malloy, who's now the visiting clubhouse guy, and it was one of our home guys when I was there. So Dr. Copeland, he was our team doctor. He still does some stuff for the team. So it's not just players, but it's also people around the organization. Everyone's excited. It's the World Series is always such a great event. It's not like, I think, some sports you kind of know who's going to win, or you have a really good idea who's going to win going into the championship series. And baseball is, I think a lot of people think the Dodgers are going to win, but you just never know in baseball.
Well, and that '93 team, you mentioned you showed up late, got in for a couple of games late. That team is what the Dodgers are today. They were coming off the World Series in '92, and when you stepped into that clubhouse, like, could you feel it immediately? Could you? We always talk about culture and winning culture and championship pedigree. Like, did it feel somewhat tangible in a way when you actually showed up and walked into that clubhouse?
It did. I mean, I didn't have a frame of reference coming, from the minor leagues and being so young, but there was just such a level of confidence and professionalism. And then you add late in the season, you had a guy like Ricky Henderson, who is like, people were shocked because it was such a strong lineup already. It was filled with all-stars. Now you get, a sure Hall of Famer coming in to lead off. So, yeah, I mean, I think when you have a team, every team that I've been on, and I haven't, I lost Game 7 with the Mets to get to the World Series, so I've never played in the World Series. But every team I was on that had a rock-solid bullpen, I think, added a level of confidence, and that's how that '93 Jays team was with Dwayne Ward and Timlin, and it was just really solid. It seems like both teams have some question marks in the bullpen right now. So you always feel like if you can shorten the game to 6 innings, then you're going to win a lot of games and you have good offense. And that's why I think the teams line up a little bit better than people expect. The Dodgers kind of have a little bit more of a bring in Sasaki into the bullpen has helped a lot, but that was a weak spot for them. And I think the Jays have kind of had, some fits and starts with their bullpen as well throughout the season. So it's going to come down to what hitters are hot, and I don't think either team's going to let pitchers go super deep into the games.
Were you there? This is such a random question, but we reference this all the time when we play the clip. Were you there when Joe Carter pranked Derek Bell and brought his
the car
onto the field? Were you there for that?
I was not there for that. I think that was 90. That was 92, I believe.
Okay, that was 92.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think Derek was gone in 93. I could be wrong, but I'm actually getting a text from crew chief, another Blue Jays clubby right now, is watching this or listening to this right now. So
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So all my Blue Jay homies are coming out. No, but that's one of the all-time greatest pranks for sure.
How busy would the World Series be for the players? Like every organization, every family says we want the athlete to be like focused on the task at hand. Like there must be people crawling out from the weeds saying, I need tickets, I need this, I need that. Like how busy of a time would it be for the players where you got to tell people like, don't even think about asking me for this?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you, but never having played in it. I know the All-Star game was like that for sure. The playoffs are pretty tough. I think that's one of the areas where having the experience and the amount of postseason play that the Dodgers have had plays to their advantage, because they know how to set those boundaries. They know how to compartmentalize the chaos that comes with all this, with actually playing the games. And it sounds trivial, but it's actually a pretty big thing. It's all the other, even like opening day for me. I always hated opening day because you have skydivers, you have jets flying over. There's like all the times are changed when you have batting practice. So all those things throw you off your rhythm a little bit. And the World Series, I'm sure, is that times 20. So I'm sure the Jays are trying to make sure the players are prepared and can handle and support the guys so they could avoid that as much as possible. But I'm sure that's a challenge for them.
Yeah, it will be. And again, it's something that the Dodgers, they got that experience. They just collectively all went through it. They've been to the World Series a lot over the years. Yeah. This is uncharted territory for the Blue Jays. But we'll see where it goes. They got home field. It starts Friday night. He is Shawn Green. He's somewhat conflicted. I guess neutral right now, but we'll see how the series plays out.
Neutral right now.
Neutral right now.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
All right.
No, I mean,
enjoy it.
The Blue Jays fans are awesome, so it's hard not to see them get excited and get another championship.
Well, exactly. I can tell you, as you know, people up here are pretty jacked up. So we'll see how it starts off, and we'll see how it plays out. Enjoy it, Shawn. Thank you for doing this.
All right. Pleasure, guys. Enjoy the series.
You got it. There he is, Shawn Green, former Blue Jay, former Dodger. He's getting a lot of people reaching out, working for the Jays.
Put him under the gun. Put him under the gun and say, come on down and throw out a pitch with a Jays jersey on.
That'll be interesting to see who they pull out for the World Series, man.
Did you not think Joe Carter was coming out there for the 7th game?
I like if they save him for this one, though.
Yeah.
That's a World Series
It's got
play.
stones. Whoever pulled the trigger on that's got some stones saying, save Joe Carter for the next one.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's right. Like now you're into the next layer. It's no longer this round was about the 15, 16 guys. Bautista, Donaldson, Pilar, Estrada. Awesome. Great to see those guys. The next one, that's where you bring out Carter. That's where Carter comes out. That's where Molitor gets flown in.
Yeah.
And Paul Molitor's coming out.
So who would be that?
Molitor?
Yes.
So who's the depth chart there? That's the thing. Who would you like to see? Say there's 4 games. Who would you like to see in your depth chart throw it out? Like, who's the next layer in your opinion?
Great question.
It is
Robbie
a great
Alomar, Joe Carter are 2 of the 4.
Robbie's not coming out. I
was just going to say, isn't Robbie Alomar
he has been excommunicated from the team.
Yes, he had some problems, right?
Like Robbie's not going to be showing his face at the Rogers Center. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I thought
Joe Carter, I hope, will be.
Yes.
You'd have to give me some time to think of that. That's a good question.
Because there is a Mount Rushmore for that next level, right? So who would it be? Like, that's the
It's been so long.
And I
Noodles,
didn't want to
too.
bring his name up, but Alomar was. You said it. I was
Alomar,
like, "There's no way
obviously-
that Alomar's coming out there."
Yeah,
right?
you can't change history like that. Robbie Alomar is still the greatest Blue Jay of all time in terms of playing, and all that. But he obviously, is off the field. The rest, the rest of his career,
It's well documented.
It's well documented what he's done and what's gone on, and the team has just said you're out.
Yeah.
He's gone. And I think baseball's behind that as well. But Carter's at the forefront of it, clearly. It has to be. But, let me look that up. And I'll give you an answer later this hour.
I think you wheel him out for game one, Carter.
Joe Carter, I agree.
Yeah.
Get the party started immediately.
Yes.
Don't waste time.
Keep
Get
it a
him up
secret and let him wheel out.
immediately with the wave and throw that first pitch. I love that idea.
That'd be good.
All right, Mike Johnson in 15. Role play coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I've got the list for you, okay? You guys want to hear it? I hope the Blue Jays are listening to this. Game 1, ceremonial first pitch, Joe Carter, like we said. You got to start. You can't wait to 6 and 7. You don't know if you'll get there.
Bring in the heater.
Start with Carter. Bring him out. You're back in the World Series. The last time you were in it, he ended it, right? Last guy to do anything in a Blue Jay World Series was Joe Carter. Joe Carter, game 1. Game 2, I'm going John Olerud. I'm bringing Olerud out.
With the hard hat.
I want the hard hat on when he throws out the first pitch. Game 6, I think I'm going Paul Molitor. Game 7, Pat Borders with a chew-in. Pat Borders.
I remember he had a biggest chew.
Yeah, he won the MVP in '92.
Do you know how many Twitter accounts are Pat Borders chew?
Man, I remember as a kid, that's all I wanted to do was chew gum and play catcher like Pat Borders.
Yeah,
like that's all you wanted to
with
do.
the little stash too.
Yes, stash. He was unreal in those World Series.
Yeah.
That's your lineup. That's your lineup. And I could listen to Ed Sprague. I could listen to Kelly Gruber, and there's other options out there.
Yeah, I'm surprised Olerud snuck in there for you. It just seems like kind of a
dude. He was the man. He almost hit 493. That guy was unbelievable.
He was
John Olerud.
awesome. He was awesome.
Unreal.
Yeah.
All right, hour 2 coming up. MJ will join us. Role play coming up. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Man, I'm already having regrets on my ceremonial first pitch options because
Johnny O, I told you he's out.
He might. I love John Olerud, but Devon White, like Devo, might have to throw out a first pitch. Devo might have to. How about Cito, man? You get Cito Gaston out there. Cito would be phenomenal. Man, there's so many legends from those early 90s teams.
Stottlemyre.
Yeah, you got Jack Morris, old crusty Jack Morris up there.
Well,
Morris with that stash.
A big stash. He could throw didn't he throw 60 and it just moved everywhere? Like he didn't have heat.
He
was
threw
a
stuff
warrior,
in the dirt,
though.
Man. He was just an old grizzled veteran.
I hated that guy so much. I hated him when they traded for him. I'm like, they got that guy. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
But he was so money.
Grizzled.
He reminds me of the manager in
Lou Brown.
Yeah, he's Lou Brown. He looks exactly like Lou Brown.
Yes, and sounds like just crusty old Lou Brown.
Just chews on cigars. That's what it does.
Yeah, that's precisely what it is. But anyway, we'll see what the Jays have in store as of Friday night, Game 1. We've got role play coming up later in the hour. Johnny will join us here in a moment. You guys see Michael Jordan make his debut with NBC last night, and it's kind of amazing. I was thinking about it today. Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, Tom Brady are all in media. Like, arguably the 3 greatest players in their respective sport, history of their sport. And who would be the equivalent in baseball? I don't really know. But you got A-Rod and Jeter and Poppy doing stuff for Fox.
All on the same panel.
All on the same panel. And it's pretty incredible. Like, he is NBC. My understanding is he'll be kind of in and out throughout their season. I think they paid him $40 million, basically to go to his house, and Tirico sits down and interviews him, and they'll chop it up and play it, a bunch of times over the course of the year.
Yeah.
And he's going to make.
So that's his television. He was just sitting down with Tirico, and they got asked a bunch of questions, and that was his comeback for TV.
More or less, and I think he'll be contributing in different ways. And I think I'm sure by the the playoffs he'll be in, he'll be involved in some capacity. I don't know all the details on the plan, but basically the introduction was $40 million. You can come to my house and interview me if you want, and play it on NBC.
Remember, for years, like
that was my
no, but
perception
somebody
of it.
on the other end said, "All right, we'll do it."
Great idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Great call.
But wasn't he the original meme, the crying face?
Yes, one of the original ones. You're
I
right.
swear he was the original meme. Crying face Jordan was on everything. Was it not?
He also got a ton of memes out of that. The Last Dance, where it was like, and I took that to heart. I took that personally.
Yeah,
and he's got the iPad, and there's all kind of like he got a lot of memes out of that Last
but the
Dance.
crying Jordan face was everywhere.
It was everywhere. It still lands.
Yeah,
it's still
something stupid happens.
Great.
You'll see that.
It's an all-time great meme.
It is. It's that is the. I swear that's the original meme. Like crying Jordan face.
And I took that personally as up there. It's because people use it on everything in life.
Yes.
Right? Like my kid said he could beat me playing cards, and I took that personally. And I had to find a way to beat him up on that. Like there's so many different things that applies to, and Michael Jordan has supplied it. But he had some great stories last night. Like we'll play one a little bit later on about shooting a free throw in front of a family, and like that guy's life is just so different. Like the way he was talking about, like, yeah, they're coming over for pictures. Like that's just natural. Like if he does anything in his life where he interacts with anyone, pictures are involved.
Yeah.
Like it's just automatic.
Well, he was renting the house from the guy, and the guy probably said, "Look, I'll give you a discount, but we're coming over for pictures, and we're going to have a little meet and greet, and you're going to shoot. You're going to shoot a basket."
He's so different.
How much of a discount, though? How much is that worth to him?
Dude, Michael Jordan, the guy probably said, "I'm not going to the Ryder Cup anyway. You can have my house for free, but you know what? We're going to show up, and you're going to take some pics and act like you like it."
That's what I'm saying. Like MJ is not going to sit there and say, "All right, if you knock $1,000 off, I'll do a little."
Yeah, exactly.
What does he care?
Dude, this guy's house was probably PGA Tour players pay $30,000 a week to rent someone's house out for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, his house at the Ryder Cup must have been absurd, dude.
Insane.
That was in the Hamptons, basically, like Beth Page. That's where it was. That guy was probably paying $250,000 cash a day.
Sure. Yeah,
exactly.
House. Exactly.
And I guess a little meet and greet. Anyway, good to see the GOAT back in the rotation with NBC.
We got our own MJ.
We have our own MJ, our own GOAT. This guy, he wheels around the ice doing interviews, man. He's changing the game. We love it. Here's Mike Johnson, our TSN hockey analyst. There he is. No bucket? Did you ever think about wearing a helmet, a hat? What was the plan there with Austin?
No, it didn't cross my mind for a second. Put a helmet on. I was like, I got a tracksuit on. Although you notice TSN monogram tracksuit, custom, I might add. But no, never a helmet. And baseball cap maybe, but it was neat. I mean, Austin, we don't see him sort of let his guard down at all, right? Like when he does media, there's a lot of people there, and he knows everything he says is going to be dissected every which way. So it was, I was impressed that he was so comfortable. Like he just was kind of having a good time and chatting and smiling and laughing and telling stories. And I think people may see him slightly more human and less robotic. Like he was charismatic and he was funny and I'm like, you're like, that's a guy I want to go have a beer with, not, what maybe we see in the regular media. So yeah, no bucket, never. We should have done one hard lap and gone with a little race with each other. That would have been interesting.
Yeah,
dude, if you had a bucket on, Johnny, they would have pulled that from the dock and said, "We can't air this." Like a big awkward,
if
like
you had a bubble cage,
anything. Dude, a half cage. Some kind of old school CCM helmet with a half cage. They would have pulled it. Yeah. So we can't air it.
Listen, I played 12 years. I never wore a visor once. I'm not putting one on to do an interview with Matthews. Yeah. And if they would have said, like, rink rules, Hockey Canada rules, you have a helmet on, like, interview's not happening. I will not do this with a helmet on. Yeah. That is a non-starter for the whole thing.
Yeah.
That would have changed everything, dude.
Andy Reid with a fishbowl out there.
Honestly, he could have. If you were wearing that, he could have said, "I guarantee a Stanley Cup. I guarantee I score 1,000 goals," and no one would care. No one would even. It wouldn't even be like it wouldn't go viral.
It would be afterthought. It's like look at this idiot trying to do an interview, fogging up his face mask, talking to Austin. So. Anyways, I appreciate it because it was something different for him. It took up half an hour of his day, so that's not something he likes to do. So we're appreciative of it.
That's great.
Do you think he would have accepted the request after last night, the way things have been going for this team, or what?
I was disappointed that he didn't score a hat trick last night. I'm like, I did it on Monday, I guess. I'm like, oh, I hope he has a good game. I hope he just lights one up, but it wasn't to be against Jersey last night. It wasn't a good game for him. It wasn't a great game for the team. And a lot of the questions, almost growing into concerns for the Toronto Maple Leafs, were sort of highlighted yesterday in that game. In that, primarily, they want to be a big, grindy team. Oh, and I had a little interaction with it. It's like, I think they know what they want to do. I don't think they know if they can do it. Because they haven't. Like, I don't know if they can be this sort of dump it in, forecheck, turn it over, possess it, wear you down, ground and pound kind of team. I get the philosophy. I get the playoff philosophy. But I haven't really seen any stretch of time in a game other than the second game against Detroit where they really sort of control play. Other than that game, they haven't really had long stretches of play where you're like, that's a dominant team. That's a really good team. You've seen blips, minutes, you've seen talent and skill, but I think if they're trying to reinvent sort of how they approach playing, they haven't got it, and I don't know if they have the personnel to really execute it as well as they want to for 82 games.
So, Johnny, we seem to have this conversation, and Hayes always has the classic line, no need to get concerned because they're going to end up with 100-plus points, and we have this conversation every year, and it ultimately comes true. Are you comfortable in saying that right now where it's like there's no need to panic here? These guys are comfortably going to have 100 points, and this is just a blip on the radar.
Panic and concern are two different things. Panic, no. I don't think there's need to panic yet. But I think concern, sure. And the other part about if you look at what the Leafs did last year in winning the division title, what allowed them to win so many games primarily, right? One, Stolarz, league best save percentage, great goaltending. He hasn't been as good, and Joseph Woll hasn't been available. So their goaltending hasn't been quite as good. One of the winning points for them, not quite as good. The other one was their superstar players won them a lot of close games, right? 2-2 in the third. Their top guys would do something special. Well, one top guy is gone. That's reality. He's not here anymore. And their other big top guy in Austin hasn't gotten off to a really rambunctious start offensively playing. So that element is no longer quite what it was last year. And then you think their power play was also pretty good. Got them some timely goals. Power play is not so good this year either. And we can get down to like defensive coverage and, stuff around the net. But I just look at the way they won close games because they basically played games 50-50 last year and said, our top players are going to win it. And more often than not, their top players, including their goalie, did in fact win it. Those things are not happening as frequently as well this year. And that is a concern. Not panic-inducing, but a concern.
So, Johnny, we started the show, we were talking about Stolarz' comments on Saturday compared to his comments last night. Where were you at with his original comments, and where were you at with his assessment, which we all, I think the three of us agreed his assessment was, I think, not disingenuous, but it wasn't bang on last night, put it that way.
It was teammate speak last night is what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
What he said, I don't have a problem with. The fact that he said it publicly, not ideal. But, whether they say it in person in the dressing room, which they do, and they did, or whether he says it in public, it just makes it a little bit more volatile bringing in public. But I think the message remains, and if you have a good, healthy, strong team, and if Willie is, as good at shaking things off as we know he is, I don't think it lingers for a long time. But what it does do, it makes the next little while difficult for all parties involved, especially Stolarz, because you call out guys like the guy who's second in the league in scoring. You call him out for not being good enough defensively. Fair enough. It wasn't a great play in overtime. Guess who's got to be real good for the next 2 weeks? Like, don't give anyone a chance. Not that Willie would go down this road, but like, who are you calling guys out when your save percentage is 880? Like, clean up your own mess before you worry about everybody else's. That sort of sentiment. So there is that. And then the idea that he was kind of brutally honest, almost unusually honest once. Now, can he be unusually honest always? Well, obviously not, because last night they didn't play great. And he's praising the work and the box outs and the effort they did. And he's trying to probably make amends for the losing his cool on Saturday. And I understand it and I get it, but it just makes it so his existence for the next couple of weeks a little stickier than he wants it to be.
Yeah, the comments those concern me even more than the original ones. I love that there was someone raw, someone genuine, someone human in that room that was willing to say something. Whether you like the content, whether you like the timing, it was different. And then he obviously got a slap on the wrist, clearly, because to suggest that it was great last night is just an absurd analysis. They were terrible. Yeah. They were awful last night. And it just, it makes it sticky, and it does put a focus on him because Joseph Woll's not around. Wall can't step in and play 3 great games and just roll with it because he's not around. It's not going to happen. So it's on Stolarz. And I wanted to get back to Matthews here for a moment because I can see where this is going. Where I'm curious where it splits because he didn't have a great year last year, and that was injury, new coach, new system. Now we're into year 2. Now it's okay. No Marner, trying to find a winger for him. Again, they're trying to play a style that's more playoff conducive, but not necessarily conducive to chasing 69 goals. So which one is it? Is it that the team and the coaching style is affecting him, or is it him? Like when does it get to a point where you look at Austin and say, you're Austin Matthews, man. I don't care who's playing with you on the right side. You got to be better than this. Where do you stand on that?
I hate to straddle the fence space. It's all those things. It's all those things. And it's not 100% that Marner's not gone, but that doesn't help. It's not 100% they want to be a dump and chase team and they're not moving it very well out of their own end, but that doesn't help. And it's not 100% that Austin hasn't been good enough, but that really doesn't help. But I think at some point, not having the right winger, when you got Matthew Nyes, who everyone sort of acknowledges a pretty good player on his own, like not every top player in the league plays with 2 superstars. It doesn't happen that way. We see what Draisaitl and McDavid do. We see what McKinnon does. We see what Kaprizov does. They produce consistently regardless of who they're playing with. And they're good players, but they're not superstars. And Austin Matthews and the Leafs can't wait to say, well, we need to go get Adrian Kempe, Alex Tuck, whatever, to round out that line to make it go. Like at some point, that is the responsibility of the best player on the team, which is Austin Matthews. Now, part of the issue is, boy, they're playing a lot in their own end, Hazy. Like they do not exit quickly. Like it gets dumped in and it gets forechecked, and he plays so much down. Right. And he's playing so much in his own end. Now, again, that's partly his responsibility. It's one of the guys down there to stop that. But he spends 30, 40 seconds doing the work in his own end, get the puck back. He finally gets it back, and sometimes he looks tired on offense. He doesn't look explosive, and I think some of that's because he's been checking. And the other part about it, and this is a true dynamic. Now, Matthew Nyes is a bull in a china shop. He is not what we'd call, a transporter. He doesn't skate it up the ice, sort of get the zone, draw a guy, let Austin come late. That's what Mitch did. And I think that's maybe the role for that third guy that they're missing is like, who's going to bring the puck up the ice? Because if Austin's down in his own end below the goal line, he can also be the guy that's got to get the zone entry, drive it deep, earn possession, start the play, and then also somehow be the guy who finishes the play. He can't be all those things at once. You'd like him to be, but that's not his style, and that's not really going to work. So it's a bit of everything, Hayes, but there's no doubt that for Toronto to be good, not even great, for them to be good this year, Austin has to make that line go. It has to be him.
Right.
It can't be an addition. It can't be nice. And it also can't be William Nylander. Like, Willie can't play everywhere. Like, he's basically playing on the second line, tasked with making that go, and then bumping to the first line, trying to get them going as well, because there's only so much of William Nylander to go around. So, yeah, I mean, I think Austin knows this, but there's a lot of elements to it. And it was almost striking watching them play Jersey last night, Sheldon Keefe's team. And say what you want about Kiefer and their success in the playoffs, not enough, not good. But I bet if you were to ask the players which regular season was not just more fun, but easier to play, easier to be successful in, what system? It was Sheldon's. Like the way they attack up the rush, the way they move, the way they skate, that's what the Leafs were 3 years ago. And that's where the offense came fast and furious for everybody. So I think it's all those things together. But when you're the captain, and with the change of Marner leaving, spotlight's on him, and he knows it, and he knows that he's got to be better.
So, Johnny, the coach said he's tired of looking around for the right winger because he said probably 5 different ones last night. Friday night, who are you saying – you're going to the captain and saying, this has got to work, I'm tired of screwing around with this. Who are you throwing out with him?
I don't even know, Like, do they go number 6 in Calle Yarncroke, the one guy who hasn't been there? I want it to be Max, because what Max can do is literally skate fast. He's a fast skater, and they need speed. They need like someone to push tempo with those two guys. And Max can make skilled plays, which you also need. When I watch Max play right now, he's like very passive. Drifting to the outside, slowing down, trying to find passes instead of just skating more confidently where the plays might open up. I think Max is the best guy in this current iteration of the team to do it. He's not doing it now. I'm not saying he's playing well, but I'm saying his skill set lends itself probably for what they need in this moment. If it's not him, then I don't know, is it Easton Cowan and you got to live with growing pains and hope that he continues to get better in the NHL? One of those two guys, I think, will be there on Friday. But again, I don't think you say it's that guy's, whoever it is. It could be Jeff O'Neill. It's not his responsibility. If it doesn't go great, it's not his fault. It's the other two guys that are going to bear the brunt of the responsibility and the credit if it works or if it doesn't.
All right, let me throw out a mini Jerry's here on a Wednesday, and all three of us can give a number. All right. What's your mini Jerry? The Florida Panthers, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Toronto Maple Leafs all make the playoffs.
Oh, goodness. A three-man part. Mini Jerry's, I would say 40%. That's pretty good. Yeah, I would say 35%.
All three make the playoffs?
All three have to make
it. Tampa, Florida, Toronto, they all make it.
As of right now, I'm saying 40%,
I'm
which
80%
is lunacy.
I'm 80% on that. Yes.
That's bullish.
You think that Tampa Bay had 6 guys on our TSN's top 50 list. They didn't forget how to play hockey. They had a rough start. Same thing. Florida knows how to play hockey. Florida will scrape in a wild card spot, and I think the Leafs are probably going to be in that wild card spot as well. I think that they're going to be a 98-point team. That's the way I look at it. And keep in mind, this is the original. Like, we're talking about a team today. Tree has been looking for. Like, there's going to be trades here. I think that there's going to be trades early in this league instead of Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. I think we're going to see trades sooner. There are teams that are starting to get antsy. Put it that way.
I just don't know what the Leafs have to get anybody. Like, if you're who they have no farm system. They have no
Cowan
picks.
and Danford. That's all they got. Yeah. Cowan and Danford. And I think they're going to need those guys to play at some point. My only concern, Noodles, and of course, all those teams in a vacuum are good, and you're like, of course they're going to make it. But for all 3 to make it, you start running the numbers, even if they each have an 80% likelihood, that's 64, that's 40. Like, it drops quickly, and that's not taking into consideration how good is Montreal? How good is Detroit? Is Buffalo and Boston are not going to just be terrible. Like, they're going to be okay as well. And where I might be really wrong is I thought the Metro was going to be a hot mess. And it is not so far. Like, I don't think Pittsburgh are what they are, but Washington looks like they are not a fluke. They are legit doing the same thing. Carolina, we know. Jersey, if healthy, we know. So, like, there's going to be other team. Columbus is going to be tougher. Like, I just don't know if you're counting on wild card 1 and maybe wild card 2 coming from the Atlantic.
So I
don't know.
So you make a great point. I should probably reassess because it might be 4. I don't think it's going to be 5 from the Metro and 3 from the Atlantic, but I don't think it's going to be 5 from the Atlantic. It probably should be at the start of the year. I thought it was going to be, but it might be 4 and 4. It might be 4 and 4 realistically. So
I haven't heard from Hazy B though, guys.
Go ahead, Hazy. Sorry.
I want to hear you guys go.
I'm very fascinated. All 3
for me.
You're down to 60. Noodles.
I'm down to 60. Where are you at, Hayes? You asked a question.
I know it's a mini Jerry's.
I know what he's got. I know you've got a 10%er, don't you?
He's got a.
I'm feeling very negative about the 3 of them right now. I got to be honest. I do. I'm in the
middle. Spit it out. You got to spit it out. You always say it to people. Spit it out.
Mm-hmm. What's the low? Who's had the lowest number so far?
I got 35.
Johnny, I think.
I'll go 34%. 34%. I'm 34% that all 3 of them make it because I think Montreal, they look very, very good right now. Detroit, I feel like is going to come back to earth at some point. They're on a heater right now. Like, good for them. I'm not convinced Detroit's a playoff team. But you start crunching the numbers here, like if only 4 teams are getting in, and these 3 are, then okay, then it's Montreal. That means Ottawa's out. Like, is that what we're saying? Ottawa's definitely out. Detroit's definitely going to fall off a cliff here. I don't know. I mean, I look at, to your point, the Metro, Carolina and Washington are getting in. I'm pretty sure Jersey if they stay healthy. Although, their goaltending, Jake Allen's been unbelievable to his credit, but Markstrom's already hurt. We'll see what happens with their goaltending throughout the year. But if those 3 are in, you just start punching the numbers, man. There may only be 4 that get it. Maybe
1 or
3.
2 aberrations. One Columbus hot run. One Sidney Crosby turn back the clock and they get 96 somehow. Just random stuff. The Rangers is just jerking lights it up, which isn't. It's not likely. But if all these things have to not happen for those 3 teams to get in, becomes less and less likely. And the assumption that all those 3 teams play to 100 points. Doesn't always happen.
There's
occasionally teams miss. They've been good for so long, somebody's going to have a stub their toe or maybe worse.
Someone's going to have a New York Rangers season. Like, that is what probably ends up happening. I couldn't tell you who it is right now. I don't know. And because, Florida is not out of the woods. Those injuries are pretty substantial. They played so many games.
Yeah.
They're a Bob injury or a Bob bad month or 2 away from fighting. Man.
That's the thing. You're right. Because you're right. An injury can change the whole dynamic. You mentioned Bob gets injured. It looks different, obviously, because that's a stable position for them. But I'm just talking if they happen to be relatively healthy and be fine. But the more you talk, I should change my.
Can't go down again.
I'm staying
60 to what?
I'm staying 60%. I still believe, but there is going to be some wacky storylines coming along.
Just do it, Noodles. Take it down to 45.
No, because I better team than we believe.
Well, you have to back off that comment, Jamie. There's nothing close to a monster. I think it's.
No, what I mean is, I'm talking. They're all eating points off of each other.
Yeah.
That's what I mean to being a monster. Nobody separates. Everybody's in that 90 plus range points.
Yeah. As of right now, it used to be everyone used to say, "Man, toughest division in hockey." I don't think the Atlantic is that right now.
But all of those teams are capable, and this is what I was talking about. Is it used to be 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. Now there's 8 mushed together, and let's see who separates. That's really what I'm saying.
Well, and if that's the way it plays out all year, then that is advantage Detroit and Montreal and Ottawa, because they were not the teams that were in that top end, right? It's been been the Leafs for 9 years. It's been Tampa for about 9 years. Florida the last 4 or 5, and then Boston for the first 7 of the 9
15 years.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, 15 exactly, even more than that. and then it was everyone else. And, yeah, we'll see. But the fact that this is a conversation speaks to the start of all these teams, for the most part. So,
yeah, it's been ugly. Like, it's been choppy for a lot of teams. And in a sense, that's good for Toronto because nothing's gotten away from them at all. Like, Montreal's leading, Detroit's there, but 500 and they're right in the thick of it all. 2 wins and they're in second place. So in that sense, it's good. I don't know. Buffalo. They cannot do what they did against Detroit, can they? They cannot.
Man,
they cannot.
I'd rather see.
It would be so unpleasant.
Yes. I'd rather be at Winnipeg, at Colorado than Buffalo right now. I really would.
Too much downside in Buffalo, because you're supposed to win both. With the 3 days off, with what's happened, with the pressure, you're supposed to win both. So, I don't know. They better.
We'll see. All right, Johnny. Good stuff. We'll do it again later in the week.
All right, boys. Have a good night.
There he is, Mike Johnson, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline.
We'll have to revisit that Mini Jerry every month.
That was a good one, man.
Every month.
That's a good Mini Jerry. I could fire off Mini Jerry's at you. Like, we got role play coming up. I got some Mini Jerry's in the tank. I could fire at you too if you want.
Go ahead.
Sure,
if you want a piece,
if
you want a piece of Mini Jerry.
No, it's called the puzzle. It's called the puzzle because we do a little bit of everything. Mini Jerry, role play.
You got it.
The puzzle.
The puzzle's coming up next.
Friday on TSN 1050. Hear the Toronto Raptors home opener versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
Jumps it down. Take that with you.
Coverage starts at 6 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The Raptors live here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets coming up later in the hour, powered by FanDuel. We got the Raptors in action tonight. I'm thinking of taking the points on that one. Raptors are relatively healthy down in Atlanta. I think they can get after that. It was a pretty cool night in the NBA last night. Double overtime, Oklahoma City, Houston. Double OT, the first game of the year. And LeBron nowhere to be found, not playing, won't be playing anytime soon, and Golden State gets past the Lakers last night. Cooper Flagg making his debut tonight as well for Dallas.
Weird saying KD in the Houston jersey.
I know.
Yeah.
Really, he's just been everywhere now.
I know. It's got to be the end of the line for him, doesn't it? Like,
I think so. They signed him. They gave him an extension, which brings him to 40, I think, or close to it. That's got to be it. You would think, but I would have said that maybe when he went to Brooklyn. Like, this will be it. He'll just stay in Brooklyn, and that's where he'll stay. And then Phoenix, and now it's Houston. And there's a Mini Jerry's. All right, I'll fire that one at you on the fly. Mini Jerry's. Kevin Durant plays for at least one more team in his career.
I'm saying 0%.
No, I'm 50%. You know why? He gets traded at the deadline.
Yeah. Like, Houston's a really good team, but it doesn't work for KD, man. Wherever he goes, it doesn't work.
That's true. It's either it doesn't work for one of the two elements, him or the team.
Right.
And it seems to always happen. So, but I'm saying it's the end of the line. Like, there's got to be a taker where the other takers are like, no thanks, man.
Brooklyn was a disaster. Phoenix was a disaster. Houston feels like a perfect fit for him, but I don't know, man. I'll say 60%. That's what this guy does. Oklahoma City, Golden State.
How old is he right now?
36, I think, or 30.
I think it's the end of the line, man. Sorry.
Nice. He's got one more stop in him. Somebody will take a flyer on him. Did you guys talk about, was it Russ that had the comments about LeBron? Who had the comments?
Yeah, Russell Westbrook.
And they were scathing, like saying this guy's a phony. And like,
man. Phony.
Like,
that's a tough word.
We were talking about MJ. At least like people are like, that guy was mean. He was competitive. Like, there was no pulling punches with MJ. Russ is just like that. This guy is all show, man. He's a phony.
Well, like, if you read it, like some of the things that LeBron has claimed.
Yes.
That, he knew was going to happen, or he saw, and it's like, there's no way you called that.
It's like his guy read this book. He goes, he didn't read that book.
He can't even tell you exactly. He claims there's some I think artist he loves, and they're like, name one song. He can't name a song.
Yeah, like he just
this actually happened.
Well, these are the allegations.
Yes, it's allegations, but it's in Russ's book, isn't it? Isn't that what it is? It's in a book.
I read it out of an article, but yeah, I think you might be. And listen, I think at the core of that is that LeBron wanted nothing to do with Russ. Kind of brought him in, took a flyer on him, and then wanted him out of L.A. But would tell Russ, "Hey, I got your back. I want you here." And,
so he was
allegedly.
Yeah, he was just grin screwing.
Yeah,
he
was pulling a Monty. He was Colin Montgomery whenever Russ was around.
Yeah, I was reading that, dying laughing, because he was just like, if any of that is true, because it's one side and it's allegations. Right. But if any of that's true, like, he is a phony. And
I gotta go find it, because there was some. You're right. The Malcolm X book, and they're like, "Well, can you? What's your favorite chapter?"
Yeah, I didn't know. There were just like so many things. He's like, that's my favorite band. He's like, name a song. Didn't know the songs. Like, just. He goes, this guy is just all for the show. That's all he said, all for the show.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Westbrook saw multiple examples of LeBron misrepresenting himself, like claiming The Godfather was his favorite movie, but not knowing a single line. Carrying the autograph. The Godfather. Like, there's so many famous lines on The Godfather. Yeah. And if it's your favorite movie, just give me one. Give me one Michael Corleone line. Give me one. Just give me anything from Vito Corleone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and he also, I guess he claimed that he predicted Kobe's 81-point game.
What did he just wake up and say? I wouldn't be shocked if Kobe gets 81 against
81
the Raptors tonight.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
We should start doing that. Like, I knew Joe Carter. I called he'd hit a home run.
Yeah, I called Springer. I knew that.
I called Springer. Yeah, you did too. I remember you saying that. You called Springer in the seventh inning, 3-run shot. You called that for them to win 4-3.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Who's going to stop you? Right?
Exactly.
Who's going to stop you from just? I kind of saw that coming. I knew this was coming.
I was laughing so hard when I was reading that, because he was
so good.
Because if any of it's true, it's just it annoys me that he's such a phony.
Yeah, it's like, why does a guy like LeBron with his whole deal need to do that stuff?
But he's the complete opposite of Michael Jordan. That's the thing. And then there's the age-old argument: who's better, right? Michael or LeBron, right? Mm-hmm. I have a buddy who's a diehard basketball fan. He's like, it's LeBron every day of the week, and I'm like, he's unlikable. I don't. That's the thing. I don't love LeBron's what he does. But he's an unbelievable player.
You can't take anything away from his greatness. He's a great player. But you're right. It's just like MJ was just he was a lunatic. He was crazy, and you kind of understood that and appreciated that.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple more mini Jerrys I can throw at you, and I have a couple role plays. All right, we're doing the puzzle here. Oh, you wanted the puzzle. I'll throw a couple here at you, a couple mini Jerrys. All right, mini Jerrys that Connor McDavid wins the Art Ross this year. Currently 8 points behind Jack Eichel, who is leading the league in points.
I'll go 70% on that.
Wow, you're still that high on McDavid.
Oh, yeah. How many times have you seen where he has a start like this, and then all of a sudden he just clicks it in and it's game over?
Yeah.
He goes on an absolute tear. And he's the only one of the few guys that can, maybe the only guy that can do it. Other guys are great, but this guy just turns on the power boosters and it's gonzo time.
So watching their games on the weekend, he didn't look interested at all in playing, like at all, which was weird. And his decision-making with the puck and that. Watching him last night, I was like, that guy, like he was engaged. He was flying last night. I'm going to go 75%. But I'm high on this because I think they haven't even scratched the surface. They look uninterested. Like they look tired. They look like they've played a lot of hockey, and they're kind of like, how is it tough to rev up the engine again? But they've had a tough schedule on the road, big long road trip, all of that. They haven't even had, some home cooking, all of that type of stuff, and an opportunity. I'm still high on this. I think.
I'm not.
You never are, man. You always bash this guy.
I don't bash. I'm just a realist.
Somehow Connor's done something to you.
No, I'm a realist, man. He didn't win the Art Ross last year. I don't believe he won it the year before. When was the last time he won it? And if you're saying he's disinterested now, he will get more interested, but he's waiting for the playoffs. If you ask me if mini Jerry's on who's going to lead the playoffs in points, I'd probably say McDavid right now. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case. Yeah. But, there's just McKinnon's got off to a great start, and Eichel's off to a great start if he can stay healthy.
Well, the parity in the league, Brian, if you want to piss around and say, I'm going to wait, some guys are probably going to say, well, let's wait for the playoffs, and guess what's going to happen?
Not going to make it.
That's right. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Edmonton, but if anybody wants to kind of hold the fort down and say, I'm just going to rev it up in the playoffs, there's going to be somebody that's going to be like, well, we ain't even getting there.
Someone's not – it's not going to warm up fast enough. No. The oven's not going to get to 400.
Well, he's played how many games? I'm just trying to look. They've played 7 games. He's got 8 points. And what is,
Eichel's got 16.
Yeah, McKinnon's got 10 points in 7 games. I can see both of those guys having.
Those would still be the leader. I'll still say 25%. Do you know how you guys are saying I'm hating? I'm giving him a 25% chance.
That's 1 in 4.
Of having the most points in the league. And he's 10 years into his career. And they also, you mentioned how tired they are. Back-to-back year, they've been getting married. There's a lot going on in their personal lives and stuff. Life changes. A lot, man. It changes. There's different priorities. There's different things going on.
I don't think he cares about winning it. I just think he's that good still. That's the difference. It's you're going to get Hyman back, their power play, all of that type of stuff. He's going to get a lot of free points just by him being him. The Jerry's, what would you be at to get 100 points?
Oh, I'd still say 100%.
Right. And that's
if he's healthy, presuming
so who's going to if he's healthy, but who's going to lead
Well, McKinnon I would say 100% too if he's healthy.
Right.
The thing is Kucherov is the guy who's kind of been the pace car for the last couple of years, and he's not off to a great start either.
No.
And that's the thing. It's generally been that. Even Kaprizov was a rocket out of the gate, and I think he's got 10 points.
He's got 10 points. He's tied for 6th. Yeah,
anyway, Pasternak's having a good start. Pasta's going to score and put up points. He always does. All right, let me get to a couple of role plays here. Oh, you're playing the role of superstitious Blue Jay fans. What is your level of concern? Bo Bichette joining the lineup could mess with the mojo.
This is awfully difficult to spit out, but I'm a Stevie Caldwell.
A couple of whiskeys and 5 or 6 beers.
Wow. As much as I love the guy as a player, I love his bat. I don't know. He's either going to can the guy field the baseball right now? Is he going to take Jimenez out of there, who's been damn good?
Jimenez,
or is he going to make George go in the field? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's such a weird situation where you want the bat but you just don't know if him inserted into the lineup, what's going to happen after that, who moves around, and how it's going to affect everything.
You still have to have him in, don't you think? You have to have him in.
He's one of those guys where I think if he says I'm good to go, then he's going somewhere. Don't you agree, Hayes?
He's going to be at least a bat off the bench. At a minimum, he's an option to pinch hit, or if things go awry, they're down 0-2 flying back to LA. We got to switch something up. Bo's back in the lineup, whatever it is. He will if he can bat, he's on the roster. He will be on the World Series roster. But what they do defensively, they do it with Barger, they take out if they have a lead, Barger comes out, Straw goes in. I'm curious if that's what happens. If Bichette is, if they have a lead and they're worried about him playing defensively or Springer defensively, do they make adjustments there? And
what is the big worry about? Is it the knee, Springer defensively? Is that what it is?
Yes, I think it's also just a comfort level, man. Guys, it's a totally different beast when you just DH. It clears your mind. Some guys don't like it because a lot of younger players don't like it because they want to be involved. They hate just sitting in the dugout and watching their teammates play. But if you talk to the guys who DH forever, David Ortiz and others, it's just that's your rhythm. And now he's in a rhythm. He's found it this year. He's had an unbelievable season, and that's what he does. He shows up at the park and worries about what he's going to do his 4 or 5 at-bats.
Yeah.
And I think
who's that guy for the Mariners for the longest time, that stinky old Edgar Martinez?
Edgar Martinez.
That guy was a lifetime DH.
Didn't even own a glove.
Dude, I don't think so, man.
Can you imagine being a big leaguer and you don't have a glove?
Yeah. That's a great gig, though.
Want to play catch, Dad? I don't have a glove.
Yeah.
I don't have a glove.
You're in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, man. And that's the old rules. I was talking to actually my wife about it last night because obviously the last time the Jays were in the World Series when they were playing on the road, the pitchers were hitting. You know,
Right.
you go play in Atlanta, you go play in Philly, and it changed up your whole lineup. You know, and you'd have to shift pieces around and find different roles. And, you know, that's obviously not the case anymore. But that would have really complicated things. Bichette coming back and you were still National League pitcher hit rules. Now you're really jammed up. All right, Noodles, you're playing the role of Anthony Stolarz. Anthony Stolarz, what is your level of concern? You do not have the freedom to criticize your team publicly anymore.
I'm Rick Bushwood.
6 Bush Light, 6 Bud Light, and I love them, tall boys.
But not for the reason that you think. Because I think what he needs to do is worry about stopping pucks and not being the go-to quote now. That's 2 games in a row now. It's like they can't wait for Stolarz to talk. And, you know, I would love to see him play 55 games this year, be a leader, be a good goaltender for them, and, you know, have 7 interviews. Because it just, you know, it's now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we got to hear what Stolarz is, his assessment of it. And, you know, once you start shining a light on yourself, what if he does have a patch where he's not? This is uncharted territory for this guy.
He needs a good 2 weeks off of the media.
Like, that's what I'm saying. And now
take a break, man.
The Stolarz quote: if he plays well tomorrow, they're going to go to him. If he doesn't play well, it's okay. Like that. That's the thing. Like he's going to get 1 game off, I would assume, this weekend, but maybe not. Maybe with the close proximity, maybe they play in both games.
At 5:00 Saturday now, right? 7 to 5. It's 2 hours, but I think you got to put someone else in. He's got to speak after last night, because after you spoke the first time, you got to go out the next time.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I credit him for going. He obviously was either schooled or he was like, "This is what I'm saying. Awesome game. Love these guys. The best ever. You know, see you later." But you're right. He's the go-to quote now. Like he's the guy. Anything that goes awry, anything goes crazy, the request will be, "Can you send Stolarz out?" Because no one else says anything.
Right, and that's where I kind of wanted him to just do his thing, have a great season, got his contract, and be a good goaltender, which he is. It just I think that's where. So I am Rick Bush. What was the one above? Didn't we have a new one?
Did we? Yeah, I feel like we
had a new one.
Recently.
Yeah, it was the guy in junior, the fighting one.
Yeah, Jeff Kugel.
Yes,
you're Jeff Kugel. Jeff Kugel.
That's where I would have the guns at center ice. I would have Jeff.
That's
Kugel.
a level of concern. You're lined up.
No, it's not Jeff Kugel. It's the opponents of Jeff Kugel.
Right.
Yes.
The guy skating away from Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm the guy skating away from Jeff Kugel.
Yes, that's the guy.
That's my level of concern.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Puzzle. I like that. We got to bring that back into the rotation.
We had an intro for it and everything.
Yes. A little buffet. I like a little buffet on a Wednesday. Mix it up a little bit.
I do too.
Did the puzzle have Freddie the Goat involved?
It used to be, but that's an old reference that I don't know how many people even remember, the Goat Tracker. And
Where
man,
is
that
guy? He's not playing hockey still, is he?
Got to be.
But the Goat Tracker, it wasn't just Freddie the Goat. We checked in on all the Leafs prospects through the minors, junior, all of it.
Well, that was when we were tracking Marner in London, and Willie was with the Marlies, and Connor Brown, and all that good stuff. All right, we'll come back with our best bets, and you give us an update on if Frederick Gauthier is still okay. Don't say anything. I want to come back and get the hockey DB breakdown.
I want the stats.
I want stats on Freddie the Goat. Freddie the Goat, the Goat Tracker. Next.
Now back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. I'm taking the points, Raptors-Hawks tonight. I think the Raptors can win this game. I think they keep it close. Brandon Ingram making his debut, 15-plus points for Ingram tonight. Raptors plus 5.5, Ingram 15-plus, paying plus 130. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. From tip-off to the final buzzer, every NBA game is available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 19-plus, physically located in Ontario.
Is he going to be the complimentary guy or what?
Well, I think he's going to be the go-to scorer. I mean, Scotty did not have a good preseason. Like, it was not.
Oh,
and it's,
boy.
Yeah, it's early and all that kind of. It doesn't matter ultimately, but, Barnes has got to take a huge step. Huge.
Yeah.
And Ingram's got to stay healthy, and he can score, man. He can score. It's a complicated lineup, though, like how he mixes with Scotty and R.J. Barrett and You know, some of the young kids and what they do here, and Masai's not around anymore. You know, the Masai Ujiri show is come and gone. He's not here anymore.
All right, Noodles, give us the skinny quickly on Freddie the Goat.
He's playing in the Swiss A League, HC Ahoite, it's called. AJOIE, but I looked up the pronunciation. 15 games played, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points, -7.
That last part, you didn't need to drop that.
He's a defensive guy.
I would have been fine with. I can do with 5 points in 15.
Should have stopped there.
Well,
a dash seven for Bella Goat. That one hurts. That stings because he's defensively sound.
The Swiss A League.
Well,
there you go.
That coach should be fired because you're not putting him in a position to succeed, and I won't have it.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. Inching closer and closer towards Game 1 of the World Series.
Yes.
We'll continue to tee it up throughout the week. Great stuff. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out today. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in. TV, radio, podcast, web, and, of course, up on YouTube live on TSN's YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at...
Son, get to bed early tonight. 4 p.m.?
We'll chat then.